What's up, Dark Horses? Last week we brought you a quick start guide to the rower, but you know what? We get a lot of questions about the SkiErg. How do I use it? What do I do? Well, we figured this week, let's bring you another quick start guide, but this time to the SkiErg. In today's video, we're gonna go over the absolute basics so that you can get better workouts, feel more efficient on the machine, and just get a general better acceptance of the SkiErg for your workouts. So let's get into it in 3, 2, 1, hit it. Finding SkiErg info can be about as easy as finding that missing sock that you've been looking for months. And you swear it was in there when you put it in the wash, and yet when it came out of the dryer, it's nowhere to be found. Eventually, you just gotta buy a new pair of socks. Consider us your new pair of socks. But I digress, mostly because I feel like that was a really horrible analogy of finding SkiErg technique. But anyways, today is about creating the most simplified, easy to adopt, anyone can do right now, standing in front of the machine information. So let's just get into it and give you some of the easiest things that you can do to make yourself more effective on the SkiErg. So speaking to setup first, let's just get you ironed out on the machine in the right position. First, we're gonna start at the handles at the top. You're gonna grab your handles. This wider part of the handle, this guy right here, is gonna sit on the heel of your hand, and then you're going to grab. Again, don't over grip, just like we wouldn't over grip on the rower. So you're gonna keep a relatively lighter, I would say a relaxed grip, with the wide part of this handle sitting on the heel of your hand. That's both of your hands. Next, you're going to set up with your hips in just a nice soft position. I don't want your hips overextended so that you're in an arch position, okay? So just a nice soft, or I would call it a braced, but hips back slightly, almost an athletic stance, so knees slightly bent, hips slightly back. Next, your feet. You're going to set your feet between the two pins, or I would say if you have the down bars on this machine, you're gonna set it between where they're screwed to the actual plate. If not, you can think about 1, 2.5 steps back. Now, I have a size 12 foot, so if you have a smaller foot, perhaps consider 3.5 steps back from that position. But that's your basic setup. You just don't want to be too close because that will force you to be cramped in position. And if you're too far back, that means you're not going to be able to leverage properly with the pulleys. So now that we've got our setup position, let's talk about the 3 primary positions that we're going to be moving through. Number 1 is the catch position. This is where you're actually going to create the tension on the handles so that you can move well. To get into this position, we've already established our setup. The only thing that's going to change is you're going to imagine that you are holding a beach ball between your 2 fists and in front of your eyes. That's your catch position. You also need to make sure that your lats are tight, so to do that, set one arm, fist in front of the eyes and slightly out in front of you, if that helps. And then you're going to brace your lat, okay? That's nice and tight, and I can feel it. That's what I'm using this hand for, is to feel it. Then I'm taking the other hand and matching that. That's that catch position. And I also want a nice tight trunk that's in a bit of a hollow. So I'm not broken open, right? My rib cage isn't splayed. I'm drawn in, I've zipped my rib cage down, and I'm locked in at the lats. That's my catch position. Now from here, to initiate the work phase, phase 2, I am simply going to basically create an aggressive crunch using that brace with a slight bend in the hip and the knee, but I'm not squatting. So here's what I'm looking for from this position. Notice slight bend of the hip, slight bend of the knee. That brings me to phase 3, which is the stand. This isn't the same as a recovery on a rower. In this stand, you're just trying to find rhythm, but you're recollecting yourself to get back to this catch phase, this locked in position, so that you can take the next stroke. So position 1 at the catch is here, locked in that athletic stance. It's then an aggressive crunch down with a slight bend of the hip and the knee, hands past the pockets, and then coming back up. And by the way, that hand past the pocket is nice and passive. It's not a tricep extension. It's simply momentum passing through, and then it's a recollecting yourself to get back to the catch. Third, two major things that you should be thinking about as you're on the machine, and two things that everybody needs to focus on is number one, your turnaround speed at the top. Just as with any Concept 2 machine, you need to make sure that the rate in which you change directions is fast. Any lag time is not going to allow you to catch up to the speed of the flywheel or accelerate the flywheel. So as the handle gets up to the top, change direction without any wait time. So that's number one. And number two is that you need to find rhythm of the movement. It's not going to be the same 5, 6, 3-to-1 ratio that you would find on a rower. With this, you're going to find a little bit more 1-to-1, but you just need to establish a rhythm, and the relaxation and how you can work to longer distances on this is just this brief moment of relaxation, but that you more find rhythm just as you would with running, cycling, or swimming. So, talking about that fast turnaround, as the handle comes up, I'm changing direction quickly, not getting here, winding up any crazy part of my body to heave on the handles. Instead, as soon as they get there, I turn it right back around, and it's just nice and crisp as I get on the tension of the handle. And then with stroke rate, I simply want to settle into what the rhythm is that I'm trying to produce. Now, if that's a higher rate or if that's a lower rate, I'm simply committing to being quick, efficient, and staying with the movement pace. That's going to help a ton. The fourth important point to make is that just as we teach with almost everything else, you want to think about pushing, not pulling. Push, don't pull. And how that works when we're talking about this machine is that you never want to be pulling the handles or sitting behind. It's important to know when you go to take your stroke, you are trying to push your weight on top of the handles as if your body is moving that handle down. You can't pull the handles or you'll always be falling behind the machine or never really feeling like you get good, strong, full body, core to extremity engagement on this machine. So you always need to think about push, don't pull. Imagine an actual skier, a cross-country skier. They would plant their poles and then lean into the poles to push. That is a push, not a pull. They're not planting their poles out front and then pulling themselves through. Just as on this machine, you want to plant and lean as if you were actually holding two ski poles and propelling yourself forward. And the fifth and final point is get comfortable with a higher stroke rate. You need to understand that because this is a much shorter range of motion, you should expect a higher stroke rate to find rhythm, and that's okay. However, it may throw you off the first few times you're on this machine, so I would encourage you to really practice that component of it. Understand how to create a faster cycle time, because if you are very slow, because it's such a short range of motion, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot of force and power into single strokes. You need to rely on higher stroke rate and higher turnover to get comfortable chipping away at the machine. Now what that looks like if we were to take a higher stroke rate versus a lower, a high stroke rate and a comfortable stroke rate might be a 40 up to 50. It's a 46 right now. 48. That feels pretty comfortable for me because of the short range of motion. Now if I take it down, I'm still at 28. Right, compared to a rower, that's pretty high. But on this machine, I just don't feel like I can connect, because that flywheel slows down a lot faster. Therefore, when I go to take that stroke, I lose my connection. So get comfortable with a higher stroke rate. Now that you got the information, go and use it. Be a dark horse. That is what we're all about. Go practice. Find the connection that you've got. Just know that there are a lot of different ways that you can approach this, but these are a lot of the basic principles that you're gonna find are extremely helpful to the way that you move on this machine, and you're gonna find a much higher comfort level if you're actually practicing instead of only getting on the machine when it comes time for a workout. And as always, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us from the bottom of my heart. I love you all. I appreciate all of you dark horses out there supporting what we are doing here at Dark Horse. And as always, guys, if you love the video, hit subscribe, because that's what you're supposed to do here. And if you really loved it and you want to get alerted every time I come out with a new video, hit that little bell, because then you're gonna get a notice whenever there's a new video that goes live. Guys, thank you as always for hanging out. I appreciate and love you all, and I mean that sincerely. So thanks again for hanging out. We will see you on the other side. Hey, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed this and you're looking for more and you want workouts, coaching from me, and to join the Dark Horse community, we have something for you, and it's called The Crew. It's our monthly workout program. It's $39 a month. You're going to get workouts, as many as you can choose from. We have an entire library of programs that you can choose. You get continuous coaching from me and my other coaches in our private Facebook community, where you will be able to speak with the rest of the community, get feedback from others, as well as get as much coaching as you could possibly need from us. Just go over to darkhorserowing.com/athlete to sign up now.